What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Reports. Today I'm bringing you a manga review of The Promised Neverland Chapter 30. Now that cliffhanger was phenomenal. It really was, because it's leaving more suspense about everything, if anything else. But this is probably the first time in all the reviews I've had for this series where I can say it was just an okay chapter. I mean, honestly, this was more like chapter 29.5 instead of chapter 30, because a heavy majority of the chapter, if not all, was just giving us more detail and more of a broader look at what happened with Norman before he said goodbye. Because if you remember at the end of last chapter, he was already on his way out with Mama, but this chapter takes place back in the orphanage with him speaking more in detail to Emma before he leaves and says his final goodbye to the group. Again, I really wish we just got a longer chapter last week, because all of this would have been even more effective if they just would have did it at that time instead of backtracking and doing an entire chapter dedicated to this, because we got to see more about what's going on in Norman's head, and we get to see a little bit more about his feelings for Emma, because she was going to distract Mama. She straight up lunged herself in the way to distract Mama and told Norman, you know, run, get out of here. I'm gonna distract Mama, you get out of here now. But he pushed her off like, what the hell are you doing? But at the same time, we also get inside of the mind of Norman and kind of looking at things like how we're looking at things right now as far as Emma as a character, because he's like, it's maddening, it's almost upsetting how far she will go to make sure that everybody gets out and how far she will go to save everyone. But at the same time, Norman also acknowledges this is why he loves the character. And you know, Emma, she doesn't get too many moments to shine, but when she does, she really does show up, and she does need more moments like she got in this chapter, because her plan to distract Mama, she was actually gonna stomp her foot and hurt her foot even more, and she even had the device to disable the tracker in the back of Norman's ear and was about to use that until he moved out of the way and realized what she was doing. He was like, this girl was about to hurt herself even more, and he was about to take off the tracker from me. So even like with Norman being shipped off, she was still about to open up the path for him to escape, or wherever he got to where he was going to go around unnoticed. I kind of feel like that was a missed opportunity, because let's face it, Norman isn't going to die, especially after what we've seen at the end of this chapter. It looks like he was just being led somewhere instead of the doom room that we think we're going. But with him not having that tracker on, it would have still gave him free reign to walk around as he pleased, maybe even escaped and try to find some type of help for the people to bring back. But Norman's made up his mind. He's already determined that he's going to die or accept whatever fate that he has coming for him, and he just gave up on trying to escape after he's seen how everything was built. And ultimately their headquarters is in the middle, and after that you gotta get past a long bridge or a giant drop to escape to begin with. But for Emma to come up with that type of plan on the fly, that really does show that she is not to be messed with on the intelligence side as well. After all, she is the main character, so of course she should have some bright points. But I have to also give command for Norman for looking and saying, you know what, this is why I love that girl, because she is smart, and she is what Ray is ultimately going to need in order to make it through this. She's going to have to be that light for Ray's darkness, because Ray didn't even show up to say goodbye. They went back to Ray, and he was like in a room just sulking to himself. I mean, he's soaking in this failure and also dealing with the defeat and the loss of the friend in his same way. He's like, I don't understand why Norman is giving up. He wants to give up. I don't understand it, but at the same time, I cannot let Emma go through with this with trying to stop him as well, because if we try to stop Norman at this point with him already being shipped off, everything that we work for is going to be in vain. They're going to increase the security, more eyes are going to be on us. So I absolutely hate what Norman is doing, because he doesn't want to die, and Ray is battling with this because he's like, I know he doesn't want to die, but at the same time it is the best thing. So we get a little bit of layers to Ray as well. I mean, we all like Ray. Ray is probably everybody's best boy, but now to see this other side of him, this side of him that is a little bit more human and thinking a little bit more about everyone else. I mean, ultimately he only cares about Norman and Emma, but to see this side of him, this side that isn't always cool, calm, and always one step ahead, it's a good step for the character, because it allows him to build even more. And with him having more of this softer side per se, is probably going to make him even greater in the long run. But my favorite part of the chapter was the conversation between Mama and Norman when he was walking outside with Mama, and she was like, your briefcase is empty, so what's up with that? And Norman's like, well, where I'm going, I'm not going to need it anyway, because, you know, ultimately he's supposed to die. So why is he bringing so much with him? To everybody else, he's supposed to be dead. So what's the point of packing a big old bag? They both know he's going to die. Everybody, at least the people that matter, know that he's really going to his doom. But the part that was most shocking of all, and this completely got me thinking a different way about the characters, is when he asked Mama, "Are you happy?" And she genuinely looked shocked. She was like, "What, you really asked me that?" But then she gave him a smile and said, "Yes, I am, because after all, I got to meet you." And it was a genuine smile. It wasn't the type of smile that we usually see from Mama that's more sinister or more cunning. It looked like her heart was really warm to be able to meet a child as smart and as bright as Norman, as she's walking him to this doom room, and we're left with the cliffhanger of something opening up in front of his eyes and him saying, "What?" Which leads me to believe that maybe Mama, it kind of got me thinking that Mama may be working with the kids again, because yeah, she said, "I got to meet all of you again." So yes, I am happy, because I'm sorry, unless she is completely evil, she has to have some type of attachment to these kids, raising them from youth all the way up to where they are now. That's gonna be a soft spot in your heart no matter who you are. So I think she does have some type of light inside of her. I think she's just been hardened to live the way she lives now because she has to survive. This is the main point of the series, is to survive. So I kind of think that she may have taken Norman somewhere other than the doom room of death that we're supposed to be, because, you know, if Norman would have died by now, we probably would have seen him die. We saw Connie die and we saw Crone die, but with Norman, he was just taken in front of a room and he was shocked at what he's seen. So maybe, perhaps she took him to a resistance. Maybe she's taking him to be like an intern or something inside of headquarters. All we know is that Norman is not dead. He's just going to be gone for a while, and we will see him again soon. And that leads us to think, what is Mama's real allegiance? Is she actually working with the kids and working and trying to get them out? Because she could have took Norman to be shipped off, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, and that's going to be interesting. But this also brings me to go back and revisit. I might have to look at the chapters again and think about what happened with Connie, because I don't think Connie was old enough to be shipped off. I don't exactly remember how exactly that works, but it looks like Connie was dead before she got to the point where they're supposed to take them. So was Connie trying to escape and she got caught? Or maybe Ray was probably trying to do the same thing with Connie and have her scout and she got caught? I really don't know anymore, but I'm kind of wondering what decides who lives and who dies. And we know that Norman, Ray, and Emma are very smart. They have the top scores. And there's always that theory out there that we keep throwing around that maybe Norman is being taken to be a papa. It could be a little bit far-fetched, but maybe Mama took him to some people that would help him escape or to a resistance, and she really is just playing super deep undercover to help them get out. Either way, this is the grand illusion of Promised Neverland, the reason why we come back for more every week. And I love how Mama straight up turned to a real mama on Emma after that little stunt she pulled. She went and casually grabbed Emma by the shoulders and straight up gave her to Mama with a smile on her face and her teeth grit, like, "You try that bullshit again, I will kill you." Come on, don't act like I'm the only person that knows what that's like. Mama done said that to you before. So to see that with Mama telling Emma that she will kill her if she gets out of line again, I thought that was great, actually. That was fantastic. And, you know, the weight of everything that's going on settles in when Emma gets up the next day. Everybody's doing their good mornings, and we see that empty chair of Norman not being there. It's going to be a transition for these guys to make it without Norman, but he'll definitely be back because we now know he isn't dead. Now, if that happens sooner or later, it's going to be the question. I think it'll probably be after a time skip, maybe after they grow up a little bit, and then we will see Norman return. But, you know, for them to take a character out so quick, they definitely have big plans for him. Again, at least he's not dead, but there's definitely something bigger on the way with Norman. Our only question is now is where do we go from here? So that was the chapter in a nutshell, guys. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as there's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now. Just chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.